Have you ever been depressed? Have you ever been depressed for a long time? Have you ever felt it's not okay to be depressed? Have you ever fought against depression and saying, I shouldn't be depressed, I shouldn't be sad, my life is great, I don't want to feel this? Have you fought against your depression? One of the challenges is that when we fight against depression, it makes depression resist because we're fighting it. We're fighting against it. And just quoting Carl Jung, what we resist persists. We're giving it energy to fight against it. And as we fight against it, it's giving energy to fight back against us because we shouldn't be feeling it. Thing is, there is a reason you're feeling it. I do not know what that reason is. You may not know what that reason is, but there is a reason. It could be physiological. It could be a thought. It could be a circumstance, a memory. There's many different reasons why and how we feel the emotions we feel, but we feel them. And when we feel them, the emotions will give us power. And so one of the things people oftentimes do with depression is they fight it. And so how do you not fight against depression? And there's a really super easy, simple way to not fight against depression. And that is just tell yourself, I'm depressed, and that's okay. Again, that's all you have to say. I'm depressed, and that's okay. I'm depressed, and that's okay. How am I going to manage it? I'm depressed, and that's okay. How am I going to figure out where it's coming from? When you accept what you're feeling, in many ways it's a lot like accepting the fact that you have a body and your body has responses, and there's reasons those happen, and you have to manage and deal with them. Taking a breath. You have to breathe. You have to manage peeing. You have to manage sleeping. If you were to fight against peeing and say, I'm not going to pee, and you just try your hardest not to pee, life would suck for you. If you say, I'm never going to sleep again, I don't want to sleep, I'm going to fight against sleeping, life would suck for you. If you say, I never want to be depressed again, I'm going to fight against depression. I am going to refuse to respect my feelings and validate how I am feeling. I am going to diminish myself and fight against myself as hard as I can to get rid of a feeling I don't want, I don't like, I don't appreciate. I will fight and fight and fight. That sucks for you. And I'll tell you right now, it's a fight you will never win. Any more than you can win when you fight against peeing or sleeping. Because it's innate, it's hardwired, it's part of being alive. Having said that, you also can decide how you can impact when you pee. If you drink less fluids, if you drink less fluids in a different way, if you sweat more, there's so much you can do to impact that. Likewise, when you sleep, if you drink enough caffeine, you can stay awake a lot longer. But eventually, you will sleep. When it comes to emotions, and specifically depression, the thing is, it's frustrating. It's difficult. Where is it coming from? Why are you having it? How are you managing it? And the more you fight against it, the more difficult those questions become. And so when I say how to stop fighting depression, it's just that first step of saying, I'm depressed, and that's okay. I'm not going to fight against how I am feeling. Instead, I'm going to find ways to manage it and change it and adjust it. I may need help for that. I may need medications for that. I may need time for that. I may need patience for that. I might have to change some of the things I am doing in my life. That is true. But when you stop fighting against your depression, a whole avenue of opportunities opens up that you can now access to address how to improve and manage your depression. One of the things that I've noticed in almost all the books you'll see and all the videos you'll watch on depression, they won't say my depression just stopped. What they usually say is my belief of depression changed, or how I managed depression changed, or how I valued things in my life changed. They didn't say I just fought and it went away. I don't believe I've ever heard someone say I fought against it and it went away. So the first step is really to stop fighting emotions and stop fighting depression. And that starts with just that simple thought. I'm depressed, and that's okay. I'm sad, and that's okay. And we'll go from there moving forward to looking at how can we change things in our life and make them better. And fighting emotions isn't one of them. So we'll talk more, but it's a place to start, is just stop fighting yourself. Stop fighting some innate, hardwired, automatic part of your brain processing that you can't change directly by attacking it. So, again, just say to yourself, I'm depressed, and that's okay. And those thoughts will shout in your head, it's not okay, it's not fine. It's like, it's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling depressed. And when you say okay, it isn't that you like it. It isn't that you want it. It's just, that's the way things are at the moment. And so if you can come up with a better phrase, I'm certainly open to hearing it, saying I'm depressed and that's life. Except it's not life, because life changes. I'm depressed and I'll accept it. But sometimes you don't want to accept it. Sometimes you really wish you could change it into something else. So when you say, okay, it's not acceptance, it's just, okay, that's what it is. So you could say, I'm depressed, and that's the way I feel. Except that's kind of redundant because you've just said I'm depressed. So if you allow yourself to be okay with what you're feeling, and feeling depressed is what you're feeling, and that's okay. And once you stop fighting that, now we can have the discussion. Where is that coming from? How are you managing it? Is there some specific thing we can do to help reduce how depression is growing and impacting and affecting your life? Looking forward to talking further. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.